All right. So I'm imagining maybe we'll have a couple other people join us live. They'll be welcome to. To start off, I would like to thank AAA for getting this event going, and especially Brent and Natalie for organizing. We're really excited to be here presenting this material. So a couple of virtual Zoom class communication tips, which we have observed from Lux's classes that seem to work well, is if we ask a question to everybody, since y'all are muted, if you want to say yes, that'll be a thumbs up. If you need to say no, that'll be a thumbs down. If you have a question and you'd like us to call on you, you can cover up your camera and that will let us know. And if we're going through something and you'd like to see the demonstration again, you can interlace your fingers and hold it up to the camera and we'll know that you'd like us to demo again. If you want us to take a closer look at your practice while we're going through this, you can point to your eye and bring it close to the camera and we'll know. Yeah. Okay, so we have scaled this flow as best we can. Oh, we've got a question. Yes, Michael.
I also wanted to point out that if anyone's unaware, they can pin your video so that it takes up the whole thing so that they can see you better.
For example, now we've pinned ourselves and we can spotlight y'all to share your practice as well. Is that what you mean, Michael? Excellent. And then Rissa Rooney, did I see a hand up?
I think he was cleaning off the lens.
Yeah, we're just cleaning our lens, sorry.
Excellent. So we've scaled this. Do you want to still do the format we talked about?
I think everyone here is like doing this.
All right, so we're gonna teach this at the more challenging level, and then if it feels in flow for us to step it down, or we'll just talk about extra connection points we can add. I think that's how we're gonna go. And then if someone is like, whoa, step it down another level, please ask a question, get our attention, and we'll go from there. All right, so at this time, I think we are ready to start we have a short solo warm-up. Chris, take it away.
We're gonna come to our feet. And we're gonna find a stance a little bit wider than the distance. We're gonna sink down on one side. If you take a pause with me, my favorite hip opening leg stretch ever. And so we got a couple different variations within this pose. One, we can push our knee to the outside, get some lateral stretch in our thighs going. I'll hold that for about 10 to 15 seconds. And if I'm not being loud enough, just maybe point upwards or something. I have a tendency to start getting quiet. Even louder. Is this good? All right. From here, from pushing the knee to the outside, we're going to switch facing our long straighten leg. We'll hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds. I like to flex the foot towards the face and then point the toes and then flex towards the face and then point the toes. Really get some nice sensations in the calves. From here, I'm going to take the straight leg. I'm going to roll that knee forwards and down. I'm going to place in my case, my right hand on the ground and twist to the left. We'll hold that for about 15 seconds. We'll untwist back to neutral. We'll stay nice and low. You can either use your hands or not use your hands. Shifting to the other side. From here, we'll press the knee out again. We'll reach towards the straight leg, flexing and pointing toes. Take the straight leg, roll that knee forwards and down. Placing the hand on the floor and twisting. We'll untwist ourselves, shift back over to the first side, and go through that sequence once more. Pushing the knee out to the side. I like to gently bounce a little bit in almost all the stretches that I do. In PE class, they said, don't do that, but I like doing it, and I'm an adult now, so I do it. Turn ourselves towards our straight leg. We'll roll the straight leg forwards and down towards the ground, finding our twist. We'll untwist ourselves, staying nice and low as we shift to the other side. Pressing the knee outwards. We'll turn to face our straight leg. Flexing and pointing. We'll take our straight leg, roll our knee forwards and down, finding our twist. We'll untwist back out. Come to our feet. And introduce Katrina's stretches.
For anyone who is flying today, we're going to be doing some work that gets into the back. So we're going to start on our backs today. Well, continue on our backs. With the soles of the feet on the floor, we can take our arms out to the side. Then we're going to drop both knees to the left and hug our top knee in towards the chest, just using the core. Then we'll send that leg away until the feet are together. Bring knees up through center, down to the other side, and curl that top leg in towards the chest. We'll send that leg away, feet together, knees to the opposite side. We're just going to go back and forth here. If you find a good stretch for the back with the knee curled in, go ahead and stay for a couple breaths in that spot. And when you're ready, transition to the other side. Let's visit each side one more time. And when you're ready, we'll bring ourselves upright. Next, we're going to move into a standing lunge. Feet about hip distance apart. We'll take a deep bend in that front leg. The back leg, we're going to push that heel like it's pressing into an invisible wall behind us. We can take the arms up. And as Chris was doing, we're just going to do some bounces here in this position. We'll go ahead and come up to standing and switch sides. Generous bend in the front knee. Back heel is pressing into the visible wall behind us, and we're finding some bounces here. Go back to standing. And then I just want to talk about a concept of muscle engagement. So to begin, if we can all just make a light fist with the right hand, and then make a tighter fist, and then squeeze that fist closed as hard as you can. And what you might notice when you squeeze as hard as you can is you hopefully start recruiting other muscles, not just in the hand, but down the forearm, and the whole arm gets involved. So we can let that go. And then from standing, everyone who's planning to fly tonight, we'll just try that concept with the right leg. Pointing those right toes. We'll think about keeping that whole leg engaged lightly. And then we'll squeeze it more firmly. And then we'll squeeze everything we can in that right leg, the quad, the calves, the glutes, and just keep that leg as straight and tight as we can. And then we'll switch. We'll point that left leg forward, pointing the toes, a light hold. Then we'll squeeze a little harder. And then we'll squeeze every muscle we can in that left leg. Calves, quad, glutes. To get a sense of that feel. And release. All right. From here, we're going to move into our partner warm-up versus egg beaters. Yeah. So the first movement we'll be doing is called egg beaters. We'll demo first. Yeah. I find it really helpful as a flyer to take a bit of a wide and kind of bow-legged stance with the knees pointing out towards the sides. It makes it easier to keep my balance on the way up and the way down. And what I'm going to do is shift weight to a standing leg, wrap my opposite foot into a straddle throne, press into that connection point so I can wrap the opposite side. And I can unwrap the first leg, and then the second.
So for the base, your toe tip, you're going to start at the classic throne position with the toe tips right along the inner seam of the pants. And as my partner wraps that first leg, when she leans into this first leg wrap and pushing up on the opposite side, you can see support through space and kind of help guide and lift and help that second leg come up and around and wrap. As we come back down, I'm also doing the same thing in reverse, guiding the leg down to the floor, and giving some support as we come down.
If we're looking for more support during these transitions, we can always take hands, wrap one side from the other, come up, come back down, same thing.
So
So let's give that a try. Looking great, y'all.
Very
Awesome.
smooth, Dana and Brent. Yeah,
Woo!
for sure, thumbs up.
Looking great, Francesca. Rissa, that is the most talented bicycle I've ever seen. Nice, Natalie. Awesome.
So yeah, we'll do like 5 to 10 of these.
and we'll move on.
When y'all are ready, we'll just gather back around.
Keep those hips warm. Rock back and forth. Put head into it. Great.
Into the learning puddle, yes. The virtual learning
Teeny,
puddle.
Teeny puddles.
Okay, so next we're going to be warming up with side stars. Specifically, we're going to be working an inside star with the base holding the foot as an anchor. So what once we load into our inside star, Chris, what are you doing for a foot pull?
Yeah, so for this one at the moment, I'm just getting like a foot to hand grip, pulling the entire full length of the foot with one finger wrapped around the back of the ankle. You could also do like a Lego man grip or a C grip, just grabbing the bottom of the foot. But you really want like a nice firm connection and to really allow your partner to feel like you have them securely held.
Somebody cover their screen if you need a close up of this foot pull.
Yeah, it is pretty far away.
Great. So from here, as a plier, what I'm going to be working is how to use this contact point. It's not something we always have in an inside star. And so I'm going to be exploring lowering and raising my torso while creating a sense of pull, really feeling into the tension that my base is providing by anchoring my foot. Once we've gotten a few rounds of my lift and lowers, and even rotating a little bit, taking my chest down and taking my chest up. And then we'll explore that on the other side, same thing. Lifting and lowering the chest, really feeling the security of the base's hold on the plier.
Pretty simplistic for the bases this time. Just grabbing and holding. Yeah, coming down almost like you're going to straddle that and then lifting back up by pulling into that leg.
Awesome. Looking great, Dana and Francesca, awesome. Nice, Dana and Brent. Awesome, Natalie and Mike. Do you prefer Mike or Michael? I guess you're muted and inside star. Hi, Chenlin. Awesome, Rasuni.
Oh, I don't really care. I'm good with either.
You go with either. Thank you. All right. This is looking great. All right, we'll go ahead and go into our next round. We're going to warm up our reverse bird takeoffs. Entering from inside star, moving through reverse bird to inside star on the other side. Since noon star was a prereq, this should be pretty comfortable for everyone.
For the bases, I really want you to focus on internal rotation of the foot, catching with the hip high, and then doing this kind of paddle motion where you transition the flyer's hips from one leg to the other, catching high. The flyer should never like drop and fall through space onto your foot. You should be passing the flyer from foot to foot. Sweet. Just getting a little warmed up, just moving together. should be old hat for most people. Let's have like really nice, clean reverse bird TikToks. TikToks we can be proud of.
Especially you, Michael O'Reilly.
Visualize it. Visualize it like a sports athlete. A sports athlete? An athlete. Yeah.
Awesome. Nice, Dan and Francesca. Great job, Dana and Brent. Awesome, Natalie and Mike. Woohoo. Beautiful, Rissa Rooney.
Nice. Flyers keeping long, straight, engaged legs.
Squeezing those legs as tightly as you can.
Pointing the toes. Keeping the chests up.
Awesome. Whenever y'all are ready, we can go ahead and bring these down. Circle up for our next round of instruction. Mount to lunge.
Oh, I see.
So we're going to be moving from inside star to this lunge position. Chris, would you like to talk first?
Yeah, so we're gonna start with our bird hands. I'm stepping behind my leg onto the thigh of the flyer. And then with the foot that's coming off of the hip, I'm stepping to that seam of the pants, getting ready for a throne wrap. As that foot is wrapped, I start to bend my knees and watch my left foot. My left foot's gonna pivot on the thigh as I come down low enough for the flyer to sit up. And then bring it back to the center. To dismount, it's really nice to rotate 90 degrees. I bring the bottom leg down and set the flyer on the floor gently. Depending on your flyer's back flexibility, kind of depends how high you can raise that back leg. Let's do that once more. So I step, wrap, bend, swivel. So I can keep the front leg as high as I want, the back leg, depending on flyer's back flexibility. The higher I make this, the more back flexibility they require. And so you might want to start with a bent knee for the base's leg that's supporting the flyer's thigh. And ask the flyer how that feels in their back.
Feels great.
Feels great. Rotate back to the front. Reset.
Flyers, as Chris mentioned, we're starting at an inside star with bird hands. When Chris places his foot on my thigh, I shift my weight to press into that contact point, bring my knee out, find a leg wrap like a throne, and then I twist this hip down like I would for a mermaid. Then I bring my arms overhead to the line. All right. Feel free to cover your cameras if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see more closely. Otherwise, we'll give this a shot. Oh, and if this is not what you're here to do tonight, walk the plank is our alternative. Brent, was that a question? Perfect.
Chris had a question in the chat.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Let's see. What do we do if we don't have bird hands? Mine are human hands.
Oh,
Ooh, it was a prereq.
I can't believe we
put that in the prereq.
huge
right?
oversight. Gosh, I would just try to borrow some human hands for next time. Again, we'll be recording this video. We'll post it later. If you can get some human hands bird hands, that might make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I want my money back.
Yeah. You can do a modified human
Yeah,
hand.
if you have to.
It'll work.
Wear human gloves. Thank you, Michael. Excellent solution.
No, but they need bird hands.
Beautiful, Francesca and Dan, Dana and Brent. Rissa Rooney, I can tell it's gonna be beautiful.
Nice. In bases, when you're lowering the flyer down to the floor, try to place that first foot of theirs onto the floor, like right underneath them. If you don't place it right underneath them, there's a tendency to tip off one side or the other. And then they just have to catch their balance, and it just looks awkward, and no one wants to look awkward.
Once you get this comfy on one side, try the other side.
Oh, so smooth, Dan and Fran, so smooth. Yeah.
Lovely lunge, Rissa Rooney.
Nice. Brent, if you bend your knees a little bit lower on that sit up into the lunge, I think you'll have a little bit more, a little bit easier of a time sitting up. Yeah. Oh, Jinlin's in a plane. We're not doing that skill right now.
Jenlyn, did you have to borrow someone else's account to get in here?
No, I'm on my work account.
Ah, cool. Thanks for lending yours.
This Zoom
Beautiful.
class brought to you by Jinlin's Zoom account. Nice. Last couple of these on each side. Really try to work out those sticking points.
Rissa,
Nice knee bend, Brent.
were y'all able to get it with the human hands?
I mean, it was obviously inferior.
Yeah,
to-
bird hands would have been better.
Yeah, humans' hands, they slap, and bird hands can't slap. They're very soft and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of slapping going on. So.
Yeah. I could tell, even though you were muted, I knew that it was happening. Just physics, biology, really.
Nice, Dana and Brent.
Yeah, that sounds so smooth.
Really smooth.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Okay. So for our next round, now we're going to mount directly into that lunge from the ground. So one thing that we do a little bit differently than egg beaters is rather than having me balance on one leg and wrapping around the front of Chris's shin, instead, Chris places his foot.
I would wrap my big toe behind the knee pit, and I'm lifting up as Katrina lifts up, and I'm just like locked and ready and set. We don't have to fumble around with all this like circular stuff.
So as a flyer, I just pick up my knee and push my foot straight forward to the outside of Chris's top. Right. And then I lean into the support point. Chris already has his other foot on the front of my quad. I lean forward and we lift up.
For me, I'm basically just kind of like drawing my knees into my chest, bringing her over top of me, and as I feel her hips on top of my hips, then I'm pressing up, mindful of that leg that's supporting her straight leg, and not raising that up too high and like pushing her off the front really quickly.
So again, flyers communicate if you need your back leg lower for the sake of the tap. And then once you get it on one side, work the other.
It's really nice, like smooth entrance and rotation combined.
All right, let's give that a try.
Do you have a name for that position?
We've been calling it lunge,
Yeah, I would call it low lunge thrown when I'm looking at it.
low
Yeah.
lunge thrown. I like it. So direct mount into low lunge thrown.
Beach to mermaid, I call it beach to mermaid a lot.
Yeah. I thought about something like low mermaid, but it's not quite bent around like mermaid.
Awesome. Looking great.
It reminds me of like that car, not emblem, but that like that woman that was on like on Rolls Royce or something. The thing that like stabs and hurts and people when they get to a car. You can't have an emblem logo in a car like that anymore. You know what I'm talking about, Michael? Hood ornaments. It reminds me of that hood ornament. That's like a lady and she's like this.
What?
All right, you kids who've never seen it before. Let me in the Zoom chat. I'll post a picture.
It's the Rolls Royce foot ornament.
Oh. Lovely Rissa Bruni. Lovely Dana and Brent. Lovely Dan and Francesca.
So yeah, I guess you'd call that position the Rolls Royce.
The Rolls Royce.
Oh, that's great.
It is great, especially after all of y'all's confusion about what I was even talking
Yeah,
about.
I thought you were making that up.
Why I don't make anything up, David. I'm original.
All right, let's take one more attempt if we're wrapping up an attempt. Do you find it?
I keep typing in good ornament instead of good ornament.
It's never gonna work,
It's not gonna work.
but it is a good ornament, I'm sure.
Well, it injured a lot of people and they banned good ornaments because they puncture pedestrians when you hit them. So it's not really that good.
It's a bad ornament.
It's very bad.
Okay. Let us move on to the next round.
So
We're gonna start by using the entrance we just worked on. Rolls Royce, is that it now?
the Rolls Royce, guys.
Low lunge thrown / Rolls Royce.
It might be called the Spirit of Ecstasy. I saw that on Google.
Oh my God. Anyway. First, we're just gonna show it, then we'll talk about it.
We do our mounts, we do our rotation.
And from here, it's very flyer driven. I'm gonna start loading weight into my front leg so I can take my back leg and sweep it forward.
I set my free foot right underneath the foot for support.
So I've got, Chris's foot directly under my sits bone. Feel very supported here, and it's really easy for me to keep my front leg out straight. No. Let's show that with more support.
More support.
If we'd like more support, rather than the flyer controlling this, the base can take hold. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna lower my leg just enough to get the foot, and then from there, I'm supporting the foot as it transitions underneath, and I'm as quickly as I can getting to the foot and lifting up, and giving some support to the butt. That's 8.
We're just working that transition. Maybe the base is supporting the flyer's leg, and maybe the flyer is moving kind of like you're positioning for a thinker, and you just take that back leg and bring it forward.
The biggest thing for me as a base is recognizing that Katrina is shifting from being her weight in between her front leg and back leg to like all the way over the front leg. And so if I have that front leg outside of my hips, it's going to start to like tip me to the side. So I need to like bring that supporting leg underneath her wrapped leg, bring that over my hips. Was that clear as mud? Oh, that's
Excellent.
a thumbs up. Okay,
All right, let's give it a shot.
let's do it.
Really nice. Awesome job, Dana and Francesca.
Yeah, trying to keep the leg nice and straight as you sweep it forward, keeping that nice, pretty, beautiful toe point.
Nice with the Rooney. Good work, Natalie and Mike.
So from, what's the position?
I forgot the name of it.
The
So
rolls.
like, so when you have a leg, so when you have one of the legs wrapped, like when the flyer has one leg wrapped and then you're bringing the leg through, does the basis foot go on the back, like the lower back area, or where does it go?
It goes right at the butt, like right at the very bottom of the butt, right underneath,
Okay.
to give you a little shelf to support your booty on. Well, your booty is itself.
Chris, I'm gonna need to do that demo again of where spot is. Yeah.
Right across. Let me see.
Black. I think you're gonna need to wear something shorter.
I
To
know,
really
and it just needs to be tighter, I think. Here.
And if that's feeling comfy cozy on one side, you can always try it on the other.
Last attempts.
Natalie, do you want us to watch one?
Oh yeah, please do one.
Sure.
Nice, y'all.
As she swoops forward. Right into the butt.
Perfect.
Nice.
Great job.
Be a little straighter with that leg, with the bent leg, like.
Are you
or-
talking to base or flyer?
Oh, sorry, base.
Awesome.
Great. You're muted at the moment if you're asking us
Oh,
questions.
maybe we can force
Maybe-
unmute you.
Maybe we can unmute them. Do we have these moderator powers? I feel so technologically illiterate on Zoom.
I was just asking, what next?
We missed
Is,
the
or
last
is that the we missed
That was
it?
that was the
Is
end
that
of
it?
that segment.
The
Oh,
leg
okay.
one.
forward,
Okay.
forward into the butt, and then the leg sweeps back and you go back to the thigh. Basically just transitioning back and forth between those two positions, back down to the floor. Do you want to demo for me?
What's the
Oh, it seemed like she didn't understand that.
Yep, Perfect.
And then from here, yeah, you're just gonna load weight into that left knee, Natalie, and sweep the leg back.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, the goal is just to get that like really nice and smooth, and hopefully, yeah, great,
Beautiful.
nice and smooth, and without that foot support. Beautiful.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our next transition.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going to be meeting up in this position that we just finished in. Base has a good grip on my foot. Good grip. Write that down.
No bad grips,
No bad grips here.
just good grips.
I'm going to unwrap my second leg.
So my grip on the foot is an underhanded grip, wrapping around the entire forefoot and holding it really tight and firm. I'm gonna place my free leg, the one that's not on the foot, my heel just to the inside of my big toe, and turning my toes towards the flyer's front. This external rotation. And I'm gonna give a good pull in the leg as the flyer makes this transition. Not a good pull, but I'm holding firm.
And then you'll extend your left arm. So when we're getting used to this movement, I can take my right arm down and I'm basically rotating into an inside star with support on my foot and support under my hand. If this, we could dismount from here. If you're up for a challenge.
We'll reverse it. So I'm going to pull on the leg. I'm going to start keeping my keeping the leg that is on the hip. I'm going to push up on that hip as my other foot, which never moved from the thud, catches and scoops underneath the thud.
We come right back to the starting position. Well, the starting position is technically your foot is in the back. But we can work on this transition, going back and forth from this inside star to sitting up on the foot.
And are you driving that back leg down to help you sit up? That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, yes. So what's currently my top leg, when we're reversing this, I try to stay really tight in the core, really engaged through my legs. And I'm swinging this top leg diagonal and down to where I almost like I'm going to a reverse throw from here.
So the goal for this is to do it without a hands, without this extra hand support here.
If/when we feel comfortable, whether that's during today or not, we'll start to attempt this transition without the base hand there for support. And the way we're going to do that is by utilizing this contact point we have between the flyer's foot and the base's hand, and that levering action that we messed with or that we explored in the warm-up. So I'm going to start to lean my upper body back, and then I'm going to rotate into a side star. What helps me conceptualize this movement is remembering that the turn is happening on my foot and across Chris's foot. So we've got just a couple of inches of foot in front of me, and that's where the rotation is really happening. That's the fulcrum of this pivot. So I'm keeping my body straight and tight. I'm keeping my upper body weighted so that I can use the anchor of this foot, and I'm making a little turn into an inside star. And then we can go back and forth as we like. And again, if we're looking for more support, we just take hands.
Would using the flyer hand in like the side star position be like an in-between step, or maybe even like hovering it in case you need it?
Oh, if you don't want to grab the base's hand, but you don't want to go completely free, posting the flyer hand on the base leg. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Cool.
We're also like really light contact between the hands instead of like full support and grip and grab. Just like a really nice, like maybe one finger pushing on the base's hand. It's like a little bit of extra contact.
When we were working this, I think we kept Chris's hand up while I got more and more comfortable without it. Thanks, Risa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great, Risa Rooney. And great, Mike. Nice, Francesca and Dan. Awesome, Dana and Brent. Nice, y'all.
And then if you're trying to reverse it and it's tough to remember where the placement is for the faces, it's really nice just to keep that foot at the butt. Don't take it away before you go to sit back up. And then it's just automatically there. Couple more attempts. If you've been working only one side, make sure you work both sides. Nice, Dana and Brent. Is that like a cat unicorn?
So long. It's super cute. Yes, bring it closer, closer to the camera. What is this thing?
It's magical, clearly. Oh, awesome. Thanks for showing us.
I love its eyes, they're so big.
All right, we'll go ahead and circle up for our next demo round.
Right?
That's right. Cool. Start from the inside star. So we're coming in from an inside star.
I'm grabbing the foot again. Just pulling into that leg, and I'm waiting for this knee to cross the midline for me to hook inside and underneath it. And I want to make sure that I catch it and receive it really low, so that Katrina has a chance to sit up. And then once she's sitting up, then I switch.
For me, this feels a lot like the direct mount into lunge because I'm going to bend my front knee and then hook my straightened foot in like a, well, in this case, a reverse thrown grab.
Once we get to this reverse thrown, I'm actually going to rotate my hand, pivot, and take an underhand grip.
So essentially, Michael, do we, shall we admit this person in the waiting room? Your call. Your call. Okay, great. Chris, what were you saying?
I don't know. I was talking back.
This is
Oh,
a,
I'm switching my hand position after we get to that reverse thrown position.
so this is a jazzercise step. You're familiar with that? But rather than ending in reverse thrown, we're ending in half reverse thrown,
Half foot to hand.
half with an connection. So we can start with this hand connection, but we have to lose it for my chest to come up.
And I'm holding on with like a normal foot to hand grip. I can receive the knee. I bend mine really low to get me a chance to sit up. And I'm going to open my hand, swivel, and grab the ball of the foot with an underhand grip. And then I just catch the butt and I put the butt down.
Much like in that transition from the gut sit to the inside star, I'm really focused on the point of my hip that is the pivot point for this jazzercise transition. If I can keep my core tight, I can really pivot on my, in this case, it's my right hip to get that upright seat. My other tip is when we get to the ending position, that's a half reverse thrown and half foot to hand connection, I am squeezing the inner thighs together to keep myself upright. That is a challenging position.
And Katrina's also doing a really great job as we make this step to this leg. She's like bringing her chest up really soon and really quickly. If I scoop and I get behind that leg and she keeps her chest down, it gets really tough for her to sit up again. It's usually tough for her to sit up again. Not that bad.
And
it's very strong.
And I would say the way that I'm able to do that is again by focusing on my anchor of the foot, this pivot point of my hip, keeping my core tight. And when I go to bend my knee, I try to move the whole body as a unit upright.
Hello, Ruben Sandoval.
Welcome. All right, y'all. We'll take any questions or let's give this a shot. Great, Jen and Fran. Great, Rissa Rooney. Nice, Dana and Brent.
That was fun.
Oh, good. And I see a lot of people working both sides. Awesome job.
All gonna start linking up. Last couple attempts.
All right. Teach that modification.
All right, let's bring it in for our next round.
Our next round is reverse bird TikToks. If you need to warm up a few, if you didn't get a chance earlier, now will be, well, in a moment will be a great chance to do that. This round, we're going to be focusing on doing it without flyer hands.
Okay. Well, I guess they can.
So we're going to start in an inside star.
So I'm reaching across, grabbing that foot, pulling down, and unwinding.
So just like in our warm up, where we found that strong connection,
Sorry.
where we found that strong connection with the basis foot acting as our anchor, I'm really feeling my upper body in relation to that point and noticing how when I raise and lower my chest, I can get more or less of a secure contact point with my basis hand. So as I'm looking to go to the other side, I'm going to take my top leg and I pike it down into my basis hand to create a shelf. Once I have that shelf, I press into my new hip contact point and my basis hands to lift my other leg. Pike down, lift up. Pike down, lever up. We'll just work on smoothing that out. All right, let's give it a shot. Beautiful, Arissa Rooney. Nice, Dan and Fran.
And flyers, if you're able to do it without legs or without supporting on the legs with your hands, try to keep the hands free as you make this transition.
On that same token, flyers, if you're looking for a little extra support, you can always post hands on the back of the base's calves.
For sure.
Nice, Ruben, or I'm sorry, nice, Brent and Dana. Awesome.
Last couple talks, couple more ticks.
Flyers, this is a great time to be thinking about keeping the legs really engaged.
My legs are married.
Good for you, Chris. Good for your legs.
We've been engaged for years.
Awesome, Dana and Brent.
Zoomy. All right. Zoom. We show it with hands first. So I'm trying to get to this far part of Katrina's hip over here. And so it really helps if I take the back leg and rotate that behind, and take this front leg and rotate it forwards. As I step to the hip, foot externally rotated, toes straight in the front of the flyer.
I can take, just like in that the first time we transition to the inside star, I've got Chris's hand here for support. Then I can switch hands to go into our reverse bird TikTok. You don't want it there at all.
No, because they're not, everyone's doing it. Yeah. I just wanted that transition down.
So instead, Chris has his foot here. I'm going to rotate. I can take the first hand if I will take you to hand.
Yeah. And then from here, we're just doing that same reverse bird TikTok and finishing on the other side. Yeah.
Sure. So that's with support. If we're doing this with support, one more time, we're loading in from reverse throw, finding a half reverse throw, half foot to hand connection. The base places their foot. I'm coming down with control into an inside star, and then we're finishing with a hands-free reverse bird TikTok. If that's feeling good, we can take away the support hand in the inside star. And then this is a really similar turn as we did the first time we were moving into an inside star. I'm going to focus on keeping my leg that's anchored really engaged. I find that helps mitigate any uncomfortable twisting or rotation at the knee. I'm going to lean back more than I think I ought to weight the top part of my body, unwrap my reverse thrown leg, and move through a reverse bird TikTok.
So again, I'm rotating the flyer with the back leg and with the front leg. Not here, but rotating here. Stepping to the hip.
I'm leaning back. I'm
Pulling.
letting go of my lock, and I'm rotating through an inside star into a hands-free reverse bird TikTok.
Ready?
Yeah.
I keep making that rotation back. I'm bending this leg, catching, and pulling on the leg, and I'm allowing the foot to rotate in my hand. as we make that transition to the other side. I'm like holding around the forefoot and allowing the foot to rotate in my hand as she makes that transition into the side star.
Yeah. Okay. So we can either do that without the flyer's hand or with the flyer's hand. Does that make sense?
Basically, you're just coming down to have the hand or not have the hand.
All right, awesome. Let's give this a shot. I see some flyers opting for posting the hand against the base's leg rather than the base's hand. That's perfectly fine. Whatever gives you an extra contact point that feels more comfortable and stable.
Nice save, Ruben. And Ruben's partner.
Looking good, y'all. We've got a helpful comment from Michael. Bases, don't forget to grab the second foot when it comes around.
Yes, that's what I just said.
Okay. I was gonna say, I keep getting scared without using hands, so I just like chicken out at the last moment and grab his legs.
Yeah, yeah. It's unnerving to like be lifted only by your legs into
Yeah.
reach out for extra
Okay,
support.
we're gonna try.
Is Dan holding your feet?
No, I was messing that part up.
Oh, like
Oh.
I saw that and I thought you were just like upping the ante. I was like, damn.
No.
Dan was the one I was aiming that comment at.
This is feeling groovy on one side. We can try it on the other. Nice, Jen and Francesca. Beautiful.
How are you guys doing with this? Are there any sticking points?
Nice, Brent and Dana. Nice, Ruben and partner. Awesome.
Last attempts. All right.
All right.
Anything? Right.
Now we have all the pieces to put it together. We're talking about.
Maybe that's not that. You want to talk about it at all? No. I feel like we should go a little slower and make the
All right, let's do it.
We're start with our mount into a lunge. I'm gonna rotate the supporting of the foot, grabbing at the foot. I'm gonna rotate up that side star. Do a jazzercise step. That big rotation with the reverse bird tick-tock. Hand switch.
Into bird hands. Rotating on the top of the quad. We come into a lunge, and then we can start it on the second side.
And it's
Yeah.
So this time we'll use all of our extra points of support.
We can take hands to rotate in the side squat. And again, we have a hand here as we go through this rotation.
Whew. There. All right. That's good.
Again.
Again?
We'll do it a couple times.
Call it out too, so we know the names of everything you're doing.
You got it. Okay, so the
It's really hard to remember.
okay, perfect. Happy to. I'm gonna take this quick intermission to say that big middle swoop, we've been calling it Zoomie. Actually, the name of the whole flow is human Zoomies, and we're calling that big swoop a Zoomie. So we'll refer to it that way. Okay.
We're just going out.
Yeah, doing it in corner. Yeah.
So
Rolls Royce. Rotate. What do we call this? We call it a leg sweep to thut.
yeah. Not a great name.
Rotate to inside star. Jazzercise.
And then from here, we're doing the Zoomy.
Zoomy.
That big reverse bird, hands-free TikTok.
Bird hands. Quad support to get into Rolls Royce on the other side. Woo. And then we're just reversing it on side 2. Rolls Royce. That's it. Inside star. Jazzercise. Zoomy. Bird hands. Quad support. Rolls Royce. Helpful?
I would probably like
Oh, it's actually all
slowly
good.
call it out and see if we can like more or less stay together. If you feel like you know it all off the top of your head, then like feel free to go on ahead of what we're calling out. And we'll try to like, yeah,
Awesome.
follow and response sort of thing. So we're gonna start with that mount to a lunge. Ruben and Karen, all right. We'll wait for some people to catch up to the lunge. Yeah. From the lunge, we'll go to the thut sit. So bringing the left foot, Ruben, to the thut. Yep, perfect.
Great. Flyers unwrap.
From here, we'll grab the flyer's foot. All right, twist out to that side star.
Inside star.
Ruben, you'll take your right foot to her hip. Yeah, perfect.
Great. From here, we jazzercise
Jazzercise, bringing the knee across, sitting up.
into a half reverse thrown, half foot to hand flyers, squeezing the thighs together.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then Ruben, I would take you could do it on the ankle. I would take an underhand grip on the forefoot instead of the ankle. Yeah, kind of like that, because she'll start to rotate in that direction. You can like loosely hold the foot, but like still firmly.
let's do a Zoomy with or without the other hand for support.
Yeah. You're gonna, oh wait, Dana, go back up. And you're gonna twist to your right. Brent, you're gonna bring your right foot to her right hip.
I think we don't have a foot on the hip for Dana to twist to.
She doesn't.
I
Yeah,
think
that
it's-
right foot, Brent, is gonna go to her right hip.
I think it's gonna be on her other side. Because it's a long leg that she twists towards.
I know, yeah. From here, it's gonna be a reverse bird TikTok. Ruben and Karen. And then you're gonna,
Then we take bird hands
Yep.
to the quad support to come up to Rolls Royce on the other
yeah,
side.
bird hands, yep, that's right. Step to the quad, wrap the other leg,
Awesome.
and then that's basically one side. And then you do everything again in reverse. Can we demo for Dana and Brent at that point? From the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very far. You guys got to here, you got to here, you got to here. You got to here. They're here. And this is where they got stuck. The right foot will go to her right hip.
I'm gonna twist over my straightened leg.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, twisting to your right side.
All right, feel free to work on this as much as you like. If you're in a pose and you forget what's next, if you wave your hands in the air, we'll tell you.
Keep twisting towards your right, Dana.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Then you let go of that
And
wrap.
keep
Nice, y'all.
sliding that foot a little bit back. Nice. Beautiful. Anyone have questions or places where they're sticking? Things they can't remember? I looked up the
What do we do after the?
After the Zoomie,
Yeah.
so you complete that reverse or that hands-free reverse bird TikTok. Then you come back into bird hands and the base supports the flyer squad. So you can move back into that lunge Rolls Royce position. Would you like to see it?
I can't.
Reverse bird.
Isn't it pinned?
Reverse bird TikTok. We come to hands behind the quad.
Behind the, okay. Just to get to the other
and
side.
back to the-
Got it.
Cool,
That's
cool.
basically one full side, and then we can reverse it and do all the other side.
Okay. Do you want to just start from the reverse bridge?
Yeah, you're basically from that mounted lunge again.
Man, sequences are hard.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
My Acro brain and memory is awful. I don't remember the names of anything, and yeah, sequencing and stuff.
There's been a couple times where I've been like, wait, what did I just watch? And then
As soon as you're like, you try, we're like, how did they start?
What was the first step?
Yeah, we haven't done a flow in a long time, so this is fun.
Thanks for joining.
Totally.
I'm tired of running out of it. It's like this battery is low.
Nice, Brenton, Dana.
So did y'all come up with the names of these?
Oh, that's a great question.
Most of the poses I think are just like these oddball names where we have that I don't think that there's names for yet. But yeah.
And then I have some credits to list off.
We do have some credits.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna roll from the bottom of the screen up. Michael, can you start that? Remember starting
Oh.
like Star Wars style, it'll like get tinier as it comes to the top of the screen.
That would be awesome. You're all gonna share the recording of this?
I don't know how.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Okay.
someone else's job.
Someone else. Great. Yes. Yep, and then you have to lose the left hand. You could post it on a leg if you want to. So Brent can grab your second foot. Awesome, awesome. Woohoo!
Can you do the Zoomies setup?
Yeah. It could be their base.
Well, it's basically, I think the base can like help the fire like this. So from here, you start like here. I think they're starting from here and then trying to rotate.
Yeah.
And I think the foot just needs to be opened up this way.
Yeah, and then you put your foot.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about how deeply we go into this squat. We could say something about that. So, but when we're setting up for the Zoomie, how would you describe the hip position? Oh, my leg is not behind me in a lunge. It's like an externally rotated. It's turned out, and my toes are turned out, and my leg is super straight. Chris is rotating me by taking his left leg forward and his arm back.
Yeah. I'm supporting the foot and like helping it rotate this way.
So my belly button is like over Chris's open leg, or like I'm almost perpendicular to Chris's hips.
Yeah, Dana and Brent, I think you guys are supporting it kind of like here, and this puts the hip really far away. But if you allow that foot to rotate in your hand, and you can like help the foot rotate externally, the hips are still like come towards you.
And then we do a lot of prep work right here. Go ahead and step.
Yeah, I place my foot as high as I can, just to heel on the butt, and then Katrina's gonna do a little thing.
So I'm keeping my back leg wrapped, and as you can see, I am dramatically shifting my ankle. So I'm still wrapped, and I'm laid out almost horizontal, so that I really have a lot of tension in Chris's hand. Then I can unwrap, and I'm here static, and then I can choose to make this second movement through the reverse bird TikTok. So it's really two pieces, but in order to do that, we have to really play with the tension in that like pre-Zoomie position. So again, I've got my leg that's in the reverse throne is still wrapped while I go from pretty much vertical to almost horizontal, then let go of the wrap to be balanced in side start before continuing the motion.
Nice. So allowing the leg to rotate.
Yeah, my chest is like, this is straight. I'm probably like at a 45 degree angle.
Yeah, and I'm trying to rotate her as much as I can to get the hip as close to me as possible.
I feel his foot, and I take my whole body almost flat.
And I'm pulling here. I'm pulling as she's laying back.
I unwrap, and we go through that reverse bird TikTok.
Yeah.
Can you clarify the name of the full flow?
Human Zoomies,
Okay, so ZOOM.
IES.
Okay,
Nice, Dan and Brent. That looks so much better.
Great, y'all. Beautiful.
Yeah, and then the foot's like on the right spot on the hip. It's not like starting on the back side of the butt and having to slide forward. Yeah, reverse bird TikTok it. Hand switch. Step behind the thigh. Got it.
Great.
Nice.
Awesome.
Hey, that's a Karen. Karen's getting poked. Hello. Where are you guys joining us from?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruben and Karen.
From Dallas, but we've
Cool.
gone.
Awesome.
Oh, hey guys.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah,
Great class.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is so fun.
yeah, I was like, well, you missed the first half, but you like picked it up really quick. after
Yeah,
I-
we've done some of those moves before, but never put them all together. So that was
Yeah.
super fun.
Awesome.
Glad
And
you liked it.
that segues nicely into our credits. So the flow is something that Chris and I put together over the last couple of weeks when we were looking for something that was really scalable with points of support. But we Want to shout out to all the pieces that we did not make up and borrowed from other places, including that reverse bird TikTok, which is from Lux's Ninja Star, the jazzercise step, which was introduced to us through Daniel Scott, and I believe it was his spider roll redux,
Or something like that.
something like that, which is where we learned jazzercise.
I think that's redo.
Redo.
Redo, yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
I was like, it's not so fancy as that.
What we're calling the Zoomie, with that half reverse thrown, half foot to hand connection all the way through the reverse bird TikTok, that whole piece is something that we took from a flow called icing on the cake that we first saw from Acro Yoga Stockholm. Not sure if it's from something else, but that really inspired us. And then of course, Jacob and Debbie's The Dream. Although no parts of this are exactly the dream, everything about the weight shifts, the leg wraps, to me, it's really reminiscent. And of course, they're the ones who really inspired doing a flow on one, a ridiculously complicated flow on one side and then reversing it. So we can't take credit for any of that. We really want to give as much credit as we can to the people who came before us with these awesome moves that we had the pleasure of putting together.
Thanks for teaching it.
Absolutely. So we have a couple minutes left. Chris and I planned just a brief additional round, but we would love to hear from y'all. Do you have energy for one more skill, or are you done for the night? Okay,
It's a low energy skill.
yeah, it's a low energy skill.
When
Okay.
do you want to do community announcements?
Sure, we can certainly do community announcements. Yeah. All right, which is great. I'm just gonna set myself up here for some copy pasting.
I'll go ahead and start since I brought it up.
Great.
In October, we have a scavenger hunt around Austin. We're going to be inviting people to go and do some Acro at different locations and post and share. We also, as a board, maybe a month ago, agreed to extend our scholarship program to a virtual class by Justice Movement is what it's called. If you'd like more information, reach out to me. They have a virtual course called Aiming for Allyship, which is a social justice program. And you're welcome to submit for scholarships for that if anyone needs scholarships. That's everything on my end.
Awesome. I have a little bit more to say on the social justice front, which is that Aiming for Allyship is an online program. It's 4 weeks, and they have another one starting. That one starts in November. There's another one coming up in January that's a 3-month online event. And I'm going to go ahead and copy paste the links. Dania and Natalie could not be here this evening, but they did share some info. So I'm placing that in the chat right now. And they also wanted to be clear that as well as the advocates offering scholarships, they have sliding scale pricing. They have scholarships available. They really want to make that accessible for anybody who wants to join. And then the other announcements, well, Chris and I have a couple. Does anybody else here have announcements they'd like to share? Cool. So Chris and I are teaching private lessons right now. We're teaching them on an online format. For people who are in Austin, we're also doing indoor masked and outdoor masked options. And then as far as this class that we're all here for tonight, just wanted to thank the Austin Acro Advocates again for hosting and let everybody know that donations are welcome, both to AAA and to EA. And I'll go ahead and share that information in the chat right now as well. And then we'll take questions if there's any questions. And if not, we'll happily share our additional round.
It's just a silly.
It's very silly and short. All right.
I just want to say thanks, because Stephanie's going to be really excited when this is on the list tomorrow.
Nice.
So flattered.
It's a good one.
I've taken extensive notes and I think I've got it.
I think you're gonna get it on the first try, Michael. Oh my gosh, you'll have to put this next piece in there too. You want to say the name now? This
Whatever.
This pose transition, it's really just a quick transition. It's called ace in the hole.
It's just silly. All right, some of you blinked. Don't blink. So from throne, I'm gonna.
So we're starting in a straddle throw. We've got hand connection. As a flyer, I'm going to squeeze my legs together. Knees, ankles, everything I can.
I'm pivoting off the heel of my foot and keeping squeezed in. I'm gonna start to slide my toes around the front of the thighs.
And then I'm going to send my feet straight back and keep my legs long. Which opens up a spot for the Chris's forefoot under my hips. So we'll show that again. I squeeze together. Chris rotates his feet externally. And then I come out into bird.
This is a silly thing.
It's very silly. The best part is the name.
And how did you two come up with this fun one?
So in
Oh,
our
yeah.
in our teacher training, we had a game or an exercise where you drew a couple cards of different poses and then you tried to make transitions in between them. And we had like some of the most basic poses, throne, bird, and something else. And so we just tried to figure out a way that when to transition from throne to bird before and kind of come up with this little silly slide around the outside of the thighs.
We're happy to watch attempts and give feedback for anybody who wants to try it.
What TT was that?
This was Acro Rev 2017. TT6.
Number 6.
Cool.
Was that the last one that Aaron did?
Aaron was not at this one.
Yeah.
Must have been Aaron. Okay.
That looked like a pop, Dan and Fran. Is it a pop?
I think they popped it just a little.
Just do it again.
It's all about sneaky feet, really slipping around the hips. Woo. Right? Yep, flyer squeezes legs together. Base gets a big external rotation of the foot, pivoting at the heel. Nice, Brent and Dana.
Seems
Woohoo!
like this might be the trickiest.
Almost there, Dan and Fran. Nice.
Ruben and Karam, can you guys rotate like 45 or 90 from the screen? I just wanted like a slightly different angle. I want to see how y'all are setting up. Yeah, that's good.
Dan and Fran, it's a gorgeous pop.
Try starting a little closer to her knees with your foot position.
Dan?
No, sorry. This is for Ruben and Karam.
There you go. There you go. That's in the right direction, Dan and Francesca. It's a lot like whip feet.
Yeah. Ruben and Karam, can you guys watch this again real quick?
Beautiful, Francesca and Dan.
Oh, I missed it.
If your foot is like too close to her butt, as that transition slide happens, you kind of like get behind her hip, so you like get towards the butt side. So try to get a little bit more towards the knee. So when I'm making my transition, my foot's like 3/4 of the way towards the shin. Towards the shin, towards the knee. And I think you're like adjusting yourself to back here, and then you're just gonna slide past. So if you're like closer to the knee, you give yourself a lot more time to get to the hip. I think that'll help out. Just to like start from here instead of out here. You can't see it. You got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, Dan and Fran.
That one felt so smooth. Yay. That was our best one.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad I caught it. Beautiful.
I think it's like
Good tips.
Yeah. I think it's like extra fun for acro yogis, if only because it's this little magic trick where you haven't really seen this transition between these two poses in this way, and your brain's just like,
Nice, Natalie and Mike. Woohoo.
it's almost like an inside joke of a transition. Yeah. Nice Brenton, Dana.
Awesome, y'all.
So good.
Can we see you guys reverse it?
I mean, it's gonna be a pop.
Is it?
Unless you can tuck it, like press out of it from your back. How are you gonna get back? Yeah. She survived. I got a nice knee to the groin, so we wear it back.
Reverse it. Okay. Oh.
The best we got.
It's gonna need work.
Chris, you're gonna need to drive your heels down and around instead of back.
Okay.
Is it a little bit that gravity's not working on your side in the reverse? Because you got to get your feet lower, so you have to. Yeah, you have to be able to do the hand to hand. It's no longer a slide because there's no gravity.
Yeah. I don't know how to like make it look the same.
Hey.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We'll work on it. We would need a totally different name.
I
Like
didn't even
hole in
thought
the
to reverse it.
hole in the ace is not where we're trying to go
Ace.
here. No, sir. All right.
That was like the dessert for the class. It was just a little fun, little nothing.
Hooray.
All right. I think that's all we've got for y'all this evening. Any questions for us? Or comments or things we should never, ever, ever do again?
That was all great.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks y'all for joining. This is super fun.
I'm not even tired.
Well, Michael, when you get everything on the first try, that's how it goes.
You're not mentally exhausted from imagining yourself doing this.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're sitting down. Let's see that's out. Cool. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I think
Yeah.
that kind of wraps everything up. Thank you all for joining us tonight, spending your Thursday with us.
Really appreciate it.
Thank
That's
you.
great. Thank you.
Fun.
Had fun. It was nice to see y'all too.
Yeah, nice to see you as well.
Yeah.
And we'll be posting the flow for anybody who wants a refresher later, or if you want to share it with Acro pals who didn't get a chance to be here this evening. That's all super welcome.
Yeah, if you ever like film it and post it, and I would personally love to see it. So feel free to look at it. Just let me know. I want to see some nice smooth.
Cool.
Michael, we're looking at you and Steph Boyd. We'd love to see footage. Show us how you made it harder. We would love to see.
First obvious thing is no base hands on Flyers' feet or Flyers' hands.
I think Steph Boyd will be ready for it.
We
Oh.
shall see.
Ruben, are y'all out? I think you're muted. Okay. Thank y'all so much for joining.
Have a good night. Good to meet y'all as
Yeah.
well.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.